When I tell y'all this season 4 announcement of the Bear literally caught me all the way off guard. Shit is so bad, I didn't even know the official trailer for the season dropped a whole month ago. Probably won't have time to rewatch the season at this point because it literally drops in 2 days time. But I figure I at least get out this trailer breakdown to y'all. And hopefully I got enough time at the end to give a little bit of my thoughts on what I expect to go into season 4. That said, no long talk though, because it is quite literally damn near 3:30 in the morning on the day after I was supposed to get this to y'all. Putting in OT so I can get this to y'all first thing tomorrow afternoon. So y'all subscribe, y'all show love for the dedication to the grind. Before I get to yapping about this trailer, y'all already know what y'all gotta do. Y'all go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things. Let's get into this season 4 trailer of the Bear. So we start off this trailer with Carmi turning on the lights in this very expensive kitchen that they were able to procure in season 2. And in this room he says people go to restaurants to be taken care of, to relax, to not have to think about anything else for a minute. It is so ironic coming from who it's coming from. This man is literally the most stressed out person I know. I think this wording and this description that he's provided is meant to have the viewer feel like that. I mean, we already know Carmi throughout these first 3 seasons. He's always going to put his customer or his friends or the people in his life above what he got going on. And it's through cooking that he's able to provide for these people that he holds so dear. But we know at the root of his character, Carmi doing this puts himself at a severe disadvantage time and time again. Whether it be from a personal perspective or how we've seen him self-sabotage the Bear time and time again throughout the series. A couple seconds deeper into the trailer, we see this clock that serves as a countdown to show how much money they have left in the bank to support the Bear. Uncle Jimmy's the one speaking on the clock, and basically he says when it strikes 0, this restaurant needs to cease operation. And that's honestly sad to hear because, like, nobody wants that. We're here for the yes chefs and the on it chefs and the behind. But with everything Carmi has allocated into this restaurant down to their menu, it makes sense. That boy Jimmy trying to protect his investment. I'm not mad at him. He gotta leave with something. We already know based on how he was moving from last season, it was always coming to this. I just hope that the Bears see some much needed success in this season so that this clock can extend its lifespan a little longer. We get Carmi telling somebody in this next scene that it's hard and it's brutal, but that's what makes it special. I don't know if he's trying to convince me of this or he's trying to convince himself. Like, clearly he's talking about cooking. He has to be. That's all he talks about. It's going to be interesting to see Carm navigate the toxicity that comes with cooking for him personally. Because we've seen it bring out the best and worst of him in a lot of situations in this series. These next couple scenes, we get to see some of the cast sharing that fire, ready to get into the kitchen. We got Tiffany telling Sydney, yeah, I'm fired up, ready to go. Sid like, yeah, absolutely, I'm right with you, gang. Let's rock out and put on an exquisite service. Then in the next scene, you got Richie telling the gang it's showtime, so you already know they about to open up them doors and get to cooking. On this next scene, we get what looks like a post-game interview type conversation between Sid and Carm. Sydney's basically telling Carmi she understands the stress that comes with running the kitchen, the setbacks, the crash outs, all that. That it becomes a problem when you allow those things to fuel you and the food that you're making for your customers. And it sounds like this is a direct continuation of what Carmi was saying earlier on in the trailer when he mentioned that it's hard and it's brutal, but it's worth it. Sid's like, yeah, I understand what you're saying with that, twin. But at the same time, we can't let that level of passion get into what we cooking for our customers. Because it's bad vibes and that's going to lead to bad reviews, which we'll see talked about later on in this trailer as well. We see Richie handling shit out on the floor. He lets the crew know that they cannot afford to miss. Which in my head, I'm thinking they talking about a service. And we know this is probably the case because in season 3, they were receiving a lot of mixed reviews leading on bad because of all the changes and variations in the menu, how there's no consistency within it, how it feels like the Bears prioritizing status over satisfying the community. Tell me why right after Richie says this, we go to a scene where Sid is at this court, shooting a free throw with this form. I'm not even going to ask y'all to guess if this went in because based on the concept of the conversation and this form right here, we already know that it did not. This next part of the trailer goes into the conversation about the reviews I was talking about. We got Ibra reading it in the newspaper, Tina going over it with her husband, Sid and Marcus reading it on the side, Carmi throwing an article out all together. The situation is stressful, right? I mean, look at Richie in this scene. My son is beatboxing on his cupboards. It's that deep. We even got Sugar in the next scene having to calm herself down. Real life Wusan. It is entertaining for us, but we gotta remember they're actually living this in their lives. Just imagine having to think every day you wake up, go to work, and have to pray that this restaurant can hold on. We can make ends meet and make the money we're owed, put in all the time we have into this business. They're worrying about getting a star. We gotta worry about keeping this restaurant alive long enough to make that happen. This next part of the trailer shows Carmi psyching himself up, telling somebody that they can make all of this work. We can make people's day by making it calm, making the food delicious. I heard this man say calm and I was just like, We must not be watching the same series, gang, but go off. The Bear and Calm are not synonymous in any way. We get Sugar telling Calm that she doesn't want him to hide from things just because he can. And then we come to Carmi right outside of the fridge. We know the symbolism with this fridge goes all the way back to season 2. And Carmi got trapped in there when they had their opening night. Now, at first I was trying to think what she was cooking because he didn't purposely trap himself in this refrigerator in that episode. Though he was running away from responsibility a lot in that season, gallivanting with Claire. We saw this continue in the last season with him avoiding his problems completely. That boy sent Fak and his mans over to talk to Claire about their situation to see where they was at. Like, brother, of all people you could have sent. But then I was like, okay, what she said made a little more sense when I seen their mom pull up on the screen. Jamie Lee Curtis is back to reprise her role as Mama Bear in this season of The Bear. And I just hope that her and Carmi can get some much needed closure this season. Now, it appears that Carmi is shocked by his mother's appearance at this event that they had. I mean, you could just see it in his face, but honestly, sometimes these trailers do a great job of throwing things off. So he could very well be reacting to something else, even though I think he's reacting to his mom in this scene. You see Uncle Jimmy getting turned at what I could assume is the same event. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think this might be Richie's ex's wedding. I think she was preparing to get married at the end of the last season, so I wouldn't be surprised if we start off this season with this event. Next scene, we got Carmi talking to Sid. He's telling Sid, you know, I don't want this place to turn into chaos. Once again, I don't know if he's trying to convince her that. I don't know if he's trying to convince me of that. But with the way he was moving last season, gang, you got a lot that you got to take care of in order to keep it chaos free. Ultimately, though, that all can't be on Carmi, though. Like, it's a restaurant at the end of the day. Shit is gonna pop off, but it's how you respond to the things that pop off that makes a difference on whether they stay afloat or not. It's crazy because they're the main characters, but we've seen so many restaurants in this series get knocked off. Popular restaurants, too, just come and go. So they always gotta look for that room for improvement. So I understand this conversation that Carmi's having with Sid, but the time for games is over with. They gotta do what they can to keep this environment as chaos-free as humanly possible. We got the gang from last season back together again. Looks like they looking for work. After Chef Terry decided to close down her restaurant, they're probably looking for some employment. I'm sure Garrett and Old Girl will be a welcomed addition to the Bear staff. I don't really know bro right here like that. Looking like a hater off first glance, I already don't like him. Right after that, we get a fact joke before we come over to the scene with Marcus. Looks like he's in a theater type setting. I don't know where bro's at. It looks like he's locked in. Look at his face. That boy's determined. So much so it took my son back to basics. He's out here crafting the food he's about to make before he makes it. After that, we go to this scene of Tina talking to Carmi. She's telling him she could feel that he's chasing something or reminding him that he has nothing to prove. Something that I feel like he's needed to hear more of throughout this series. Like his past especially. Oh my God. Somebody just needed to step in and tell him what Tina's telling him right now. Definitely good that he's hearing this message though, especially at the time he's hearing it and the person he's hearing it from. We know Tina's one of the OGs. She was around when Mikey was still here. And so her words mean a lot because she's seen this establishment when it was the beef. To see where it's come from now, she can tell Carmi, listen, Mikey would have been proud of you. So ease up on yourself a little bit. Got this nice wholesome pic of Sugar and I think Pete and they kid. Look at the cute little baby just over there smiling. Moving on, we get this scene between Sid and Carm's mom, where she's telling Sid that sometimes your work family is closer to you than your actual family. I'm not sure if we're gonna start to see more beef between Sid and her pops in this season. I hope not. But maybe this conversation is in relation to something that happens between them two. I don't know. We already know Pops was never really too big on Sid decided to be a chef as opposed to working at Boeing. We get a scene of Richie talking to Sid, talking about on my signal release Project Hell. Then we just see who I think is Sweeps at this batting cage. Don't really know the correlation. We also don't really know much about Sweeps' character either. Look forward to maybe getting to learn more about bro in this season. Now we get Carmi telling somebody towards the end of the trailer that there's one true thing about restaurants, and it's that you're never alone while you're working in one. And we get to see all these wholesome pictures of everybody hugging, showing love to each other. I definitely had to include this one of Richie and Sid because we already know what they've gone through from season 1 up till now. I'm assuming Richie's hugging Sid in this scene because it's hard for him to see his ex moving on. Like I said, I really do think that this is his ex's wedding, and I feel like him coming out here, it took a lot for Richie for sure. But he needed somebody to lean on, and for that person to be Sid, that just speaks even more to his growth throughout the series. And I'm loving their relationship up till this point. We get some good vibes from Tina and Ibra, and that's good to see because we already know Ibra really wasn't with all this change shit coming into season 2. Seeing where he is now, buying in on the process, and wanted to see the Bears succeed. Next, we got Donna and Jimmy, two characters I hope we get more relevant storylines for in this season. And then we got Sid and her pops beating the beef allegations I was talking about earlier. What the fuck was I thinking? The trailer ends with yet another fact joke, and that's what we got for the trailer breakdown, y'all. Really excited for the Bears season 4. I think they're ready to take it up a notch from the lackluster season 3 they dropped. The biggest hope I have for this season is that Carmi really locks in with himself this season, understands that he doesn't need to overcompensate for everything, and really trust his team more. Really buy into the fact that he's not alone working in this restaurant, and lean on his people when he feels like his world is crashing down around him. That's all I got for y'all for this video, man. Are you excited for the Bears season 4? Will you be tapped in on day 1? And whose storyline are you most excited to see expanded on in this season? Sound off in the comments. This is being boy J Suave, and I'm going to bed.